was here a little while ago. Sort of a little while ago.
I can't remember the last time I saw Betty. Oh, god damn it, really?
Yeah, it's me, Paul, ready for the podcast. Oh, was it me? Was that a problem, or was there a different problem?
No, YouTube is saying...
I'm talking to Ben. I don't know if you can hear him.
YouTube is saying... YouTube is having issues. It looks like it's going. I'm just going to let it go.
Oh, okay.
And maybe...
All right.
Maybe we're streaming, maybe not. YouTube is having issues. Like it did that last time.
So, are you recording right now?
I am.
On your end?
Yes.
One thing I just want to mention, who are our two friends of the podcast who were on before that were in Twin Peaks: The Return?
Eric Ray Anderson and John Paulson.
So I watched their scene while I was on vacation.
Yeah.
And I say their scene because E-Ray basically bookends it.
Yeah.
You know, he's at the beginning of it. And just what a great scene, Ben. It's so good.
You know what?
I'm so glad that we got a chance to talk to them.
That scene is the only scene I've ever seen in Twin Peaks.
Wow.
Yeah. I've never seen
season 1 and 2.
I've never seen the show, but I watched that scene on YouTube. You know what?
I'm so glad that we got a chance to talk to them.
All right. It looks like I don't know if you can hear it. It looks like we are streaming, so
hey, look at that.
Judging by the back end of YouTube,
so really,
YouTube's like, I don't know what's going on. Anyway,
really crazy, really kind of cool.
That's
the only thing you've seen. I've seen all of it, you know.
Paul, you went on an adventure. Do you want to talk about your adventure?
I did. Sure. I went to Chicago, Illinois.
And was nominated to be the next president. Oh wait, no, that's tonight.
No, and not me, boy, but if I were, so we were in Chicago for some of the Democratic National Convention. That is not why we were there. We were there looking at prospective places. Put an offer in one place. They have not gotten back to us. So we are gearing up to maybe make an offer on our second choice.
How many places did you see?
Yeah. We saw probably 8.
Wow.
Maybe. Yeah. Some of them not great.
Yeah.
But the two that we liked are good.
Are you already doing that thing where you're imagining living in one of those places?
Yes, I am, which is a problem.
Yeah.
Trying not to. That is actually part of my OCD practicing of not to think of those places. So I'll tell you something interesting that happened though. The place where we stayed while we were looking at these places is really close to the headquarters of the Nation of Islam.
Okay.
Which is in Chicago, Illinois, and there was a funeral for Louis Farrakhan's daughter-in-law, who passed away recently.
Oh. Okay.
And so we, of course, not invited, but got to see the procession and the size of the location and the uniforms and all that kind of stuff. It was very interesting to see. And you know, I didn't know anything about what was happening. I didn't even know that it was the Nation of Islam. I was just like, there's some place here and there's an event going on, etc. And I have to say that the two pieces of research that I did, one was with the AI Perplexity, and the other was just me and Google. And me and Google figured it out almost instantly. Perplexity, every step of the way, I was like, is there any sort of a funeral of a high-profile person in Chicago today? I don't know of any. Okay, and then I looked up. Is there anything happening at a mosque today in Chicago? Any sort of an event planned? And still no. And then in the same screen, I was kind of just with my own brain looking up the same question, but just using Google,
Yeah.
and I figured it out. And then I was like, have you ever heard of Karen Farrakhan? Karen Farrakhan is this person. Do you know if she's died recently? If she has died, do you know where her funeral might be? Just like feeding it information. It never connected the dots. It was really interesting.
I have never heard of this AI before, Perplexity.
Oh, Perplexity is my okay. So here's the thing. It's not great as shown with that, but it is my favorite. And the reason it's my favorite is because when you do a search with it, also the GudeLaurance podcast, brought to you by Perplexity. Perplexity, question your world. No, I don't know if they
Use
have any
promo
sort of
code
a
GudeLaurance on your next sign up of
yeah.
Perplexity.
And I don't think question your world is their slogan. It could be for the right price. Get at me. No, but what happens is it gives you the results, and then in your results it has footnotes. It cites where it got the information from,
Google,
which to
Google,
me
Google, Google,
is
Google.
no. But it is sometimes Reddit, Wikipedia, some guy's blog,
Yeah.
and that's important because if it's a black box like ChatGPT, sorry ChatGPT if you're listening, I mean I love you, obviously, but the black box part of it is difficult for me to sometimes trust the information that I get from it. And the reason is because if it's something that you already know the answer to, it's so weird, Ben. If it's something I already know the answer to, and I try to get it to tell me that answer, it's very difficult. Whereas if it's something I don't know anything about and it tells me, I'm like, well,
Does
obviously it's
that,
correct.
well, yeah, that's my question. Does that lead you to doubt the answers it gives you?
It does, which is why again, Perplexity is the and what's Rupert Murdoch's company? It's not it owns like the Wall Street Journal and Fox News, and I think it's just News Corp.
News Corps, yeah.
News Corp. Um, it has cut a deal with OpenAI to give ChatGPT news information, and that
Good.
just makes me a little bit concerned.
I mean, isn't Perplexity, is it not just a Chat GPT wrapper?
I believe it uses ChatGPT. I think it uses a couple of different
It's like, isn't that what McCandless
things.
told us either last week
I
or
think it
at
uses.
some point where like
I
all
think
these
it
different AI
uses.
companies use ChatGPT
Yeah. Let me see for
or
Perplexity.
open
Let me
AI
find out.
products in general?
I'm gonna say which which
A witch.
AI models does
Ugh.
Perplexity use? And
Keep
I'm
it
asking Perplexity.
keep it wrong, Paul.
Oh no, that's right. I am very dangerously not keeping it wrong at this point. So I'm asking Perplexity which AI models does Perplexity use? Perplexity AI uses a variety of advanced language models. The free version employs Perplexity's standalone large language model uh, with natural language processing abilities. The paid version, Perplexity Pro, provides access to models such as GPT-4, Claude 3.5, Mistral Large, Llama 3, and an experimental Perplexity model. These models are used to enhance the search engine's ability to understand queries and provide accurate conversational responses. So I'm only using the free version of Perplexity. So I guess that's it. I'm just using their large language model. Might be part of the reason why its answers were not always good.
It's still
But
learning. It's just
I am
still in its
doing.
infancy.
Yeah, I am doing it on purpose, though. I am. I'm not a luddite by any means, but I am trying to curb my reliance on AI for answers. But I do like the only just being able to answer a question than having it right back. It is much better than using Google right now.
Oh, yeah, you think?
Because for Google, I have to search through the results and find. When I say it's much better, I mean as a user, it's much better, lazier to just ask the question in English. But I mean, honestly, if I had once, I might switch back to ChatGPT once they have a thing where you can have any voice you want answer you with questions.
So, like,
Once that
you can have
happens, I might.
Vincent Price give you your answer.
Exactly. I don't know who I'd pick though. That's the other thing.
Well, I
Who would
mean,
I pick?
it would have to be amongst a pool of people who have allowed their voices to be licensed.
I'm thinking maybe Kit from Knight Rider. I'd pick something where the voice
He
is.
has a name.
Yeah, it's Kit. Um the actor, yeah, I don't know the actor's name. But I would probably pick something where it is already a thing that is gives you information like that, if that makes sense. Right? It would be a pre-existing um helper voice. Maybe GLaDOS from Portal Portal 2. I don't know. I could figure it out
It is
later.
amazing
Oh,
how far down the IMDb cast list for Knight Rider you have to look to find the voice of Kit.
that is shocking.
They're doing so. Oh, someone is here.
I keep hearing, yeah, I hear noises, Ben.
They're doing work upstairs, so I don't know if they're like building stuff or if somebody's banging on the door. Um,
Have I told you before about the sort of AI proof? We talked about it a little bit with Steven, but things I'm thinking about that are kind of AI proof, at least right now.
okay.
Real paintings, like actual paintings that you hang on your wall,
Yeah.
and live theater. But you could put on a play where a whole bunch of things in the play are, like a play with the script written by an AI and, the set design built off of AI imagery and stuff. You could do a lot with it, but the actual people acting would still be the people acting until we get robots, which can happen eventually.
Yeah. Um, so I could have probably just asked Perplexity who the voice of Kit was, but I went to IMDb. I looked down the entire list, and I stopped scrolling because it's like every actor who was ever in the show ever.
Oh yeah,
But then, so I just then I googled the voice of Kit, and it gave me the name. Went back to the IMDb page, did a Control F. Hey Yolanda,
yeah.
did a Control F. Look for his name, and the reason he wasn't in the main cast, he's at the bottom of the list, is because he was uncredited.
Oh wow. And was the voice William Daniels?
Why, it was indeed.
So I will say this. I feel like the bad version of Kit was called Carr, Karr.
Yeah.
Um, Here's something I forgot about this as well. Michael Knight
A man
uh,
who does not exist.
got David Hasselhoff actually was a face that was given to Michael Knight through plastic surgery, that he actually looked like a completely different guy. And in the pilot episode of Knight Rider, you see that guy.
Yeah. Yeah, I was young enough when that show was on. I loved it because, cars. I didn't really care about anything else except the car. And I remember being so in the opening titles, the voiceover says the adventures of like Michael Knight and Kit and his Kit Industry 2000 or Knight Industry 2000. Michael, a man who does not exist. And I had no idea what that meant. I had asked my older sister, what does that mean that he doesn't exist? Because it kind of blew my brains because like he exists. I can see him. He's right there. He's in this TV show. And my sister, I guess, couldn't really figure out what I was asking. And she's like, she said, it means he was never born. And that still didn't answer any questions for me. I'm like, but what? But I didn't understand the concept of like not having a record as a person. That nobody knows that you exist.
Yeah, we live a paper life and a meat life, Ben. And now I guess it's an electronic life, but it was a paper life for a while.
Yeah.
And is the theme song like doo 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 doo? I think it's like electronic.
Yeah,
like,
yeah. And then the Kit had the Cylon because it was the same guy who did Battlestar.
Are we thinking that maybe Cylon technology powered Kit?
I think that's canon, honestly. It has to be. What was it?
Because wasn't
Glenn Berger? Was that his name?
Wasn't even in the old? I know it was the idea in the new Battlestar Galactica, but in the old Battlestar Galactica, didn't we? They were our progenitors. Like the idea was that they were prior to Earth.
Oh, so in old Battlestar, humans created the Cylons, but in new Battlestar, Cylons came first?
My understanding is that in old Battlestar, and new Battlestar, in both of them, the people on the Battlestars end up showing up on Earth, and they are the first people to colonize Earth. They colonize Earth, basically.
Right.
And so the idea is that they're in our past. But now I seem to remember that there was a version of Battlestar Galactica where they showed up and it was modern day Earth. That's really weird. I don't know why I'm thinking that. But I think it might have happened in the old, like a mini series of Battlestar Galactica or something. And again, keeping it wrong, someone is probably screaming right now. It's called our,
I never watched the old show. I watched all of the new show, but it didn't sync. Like it didn't land with me. I enjoyed it while I was watching, but it hasn't stayed in my head at all. I do remember they went to like an Earth type planet before the series ended. That was like wrecked by nuclear war or something. And the writers, I do know this part, the writers had planned that to be a possible series finale if the show was canceled during the upcoming writer's strike.
Yeah.
The writer's strike happened, show came back, so then they kept on going.
And I think when the show came back, they did like a huge jump.
Yeah.
A time jump. But yeah, spoilers for Battlestar Galactica.
That we've already been talking
eventually, they show up on Earth, or a planet like Earth anyway. And Adama is supposed to be Adam. That's the concept. Although I think in the new one, I want to say that Adama ends up living by himself, and so it's not really,
So he doesn't have an Eve.
Same.
Or a Steve.
Yeah, exactly. I think the Eve would have probably been the president. I think she died. eventually. I want to say. He
Yeah.
and the president eventually ended up. But yeah, yeah, good. I was thinking about this lately, Ben.
Lately,
We had
Ben.
talked about doing this at one point in time. We never ended up doing it, but to just do a daily soap opera, and have it be science fiction. And why didn't they ever do a science fiction soap opera? It seemed like it would work out. And then I remembered Dark Shadows was a horror soap opera, the closest thing we probably got. And then some soap opera plots went into science fiction or whatever. But yeah, never really took off. Never really took off. The idea you
Amazing
do
that.
you do a Star Trek, but it's a daily Star Trek at like
And
10
every
a.m.
episode is a bottle episode.
And every episode is a bottle episode. Yes, people would watch it. I think not anymore, but they would have.
You know, there's probably some weird corner of YouTube where some people are doing some sort of science fiction-y soap opera on a pretty consistent basis. I don't want to say daily because that's a lot of work.
Probably. I know that there were some people who are making a fan version of Star Trek.
Amongst many that have already happened.
Absolutely, yeah. But one that got some pretty good traction. Actually, had some guest stars from the original
Yeah,
series on it
I remember
and
this.
stuff.
Star Trek, though,
Yeah.
they seem to have. It seems like it feels like Paramount is on the verge of losing the copyright based on all the new Star Trek properties that are coming out or that have been
Oh.
out. Because there's like Lower Decks, there's Picard, there's weird Star Trek shows I've not even heard of that I hear about. I don't have the Paramount streaming service, so I don't like get exposed to any of this stuff.
Mm-hmm.
But
So
I'm pretty sure
there's
Paramount is not on the verge of losing the licensing rights or the copyright or whatever it is when you have to produce something. But it just feels that way to me.
like how there's a Fantastic Four
Yeah,
show every
exactly.
once in a while. But now this new Fantastic Four show. Did you watch The Bear, Ben?
Yeah,
Have you seen The
I
Bear
have
yet?
seen the bear. Oh yeah.
Okay.
Uh, um,
Richie
yeah, Eben Moss Backrack.
from The Bear. Yeah.
He's the thing. So
Gonna be yeah.
I'm wondering like,
And I
is it
think
gonna be like which how are they gonna do it? Like, is he gonna wear a mocap suit and it's all gonna be CGI?
I think that's probably we've got the technology now that would be a way to do
Or is
it.
he gonna be Michael Chiklis wearing a big rubber suit?
I really don't think they're going to big rubber suit him. They could though. This is the good thing is I think that he's a phenomenal actor. I think that guy's. Did you see him on Andor? He was great on Andor.
Yeah, in fact, I saw Andor first, and when I was watching The Bear, I'm like, how do I know that guy?
Yep, exactly. I knew who he was immediately when I saw him.
Yeah.
But same. Saw him on Andor first. Yeah, can't wait to see. I've always wanted there to be a good Fantastic Four.
This one's getting
Property.
a lot of buzz, I think, just based on who they've cast.
Yes. Yeah, I think so.
So
Wait,
I'm hoping that it's quality.
so it is going to fit into the MCU. It's going to be that group that's doing it, if I'm right. Is that correct?
In some multiverse, because they've already had Mr. Fantastic in a proper MCU movie. Who was?
Yeah, as that guy, the Jim from The Office guy.
Yeah.
Up spoilers for everything that has ever happened. There, is that good? Can we just put that in there?
Just
Timestamp it. Spoilers for anything
and
that
everything
exists.
based on our whimsy.
Wukong is a new video game that's out. You play a monkey god, kind of,
Okay.
in China. esque sort of thing. And it had me tempted at least just for a little bit, but Jennifer talked me out of it because I said, Jennifer, what would you think if I were just to shave right here, just shave right here, so I would look like a monkey with my beard? And she said, you would look
Like
you
a
would look like
reverse
an
Hitler.
idiot. You would look like an idiot. You'd
Yeah.
look kind of like a guy trying to be Amish. And I was like, okay, not going to do it then. But for if I had been left to my own devices, I probably would have, because I like that monkey look. Yeah, hey Ben,
Yeah, I haven't
looks like
shaved.
you're
I
growing.
haven't shaved in a bit. It's only by happenstance of physiology. I'm not doing this on purpose. I had just haven't shaved, and so my face gets itchy and hairy.
Oh hey, it's time for me to share my medical information with all the people in the world.
I probably will shave on Sunday.
I finally, as you know, I stopped doing the AI music thing.
Yeah,
I don't know. Did I mention that?
yeah.
I think I did. So, and I got my blood work done, which, according to Fat Boy Summer, I was not going to be doing until the fall. But
This is a recent
I
visit to
ended
the
up,
doctor.
yep. I just went to. Well, no, I not recent visit to the doctor. I went to the doctor. I was supposed to get my blood work done,
Yeah.
and I didn't for a while. So here we go. This is the this is from August 21st. It's my doctor. Um, okay, so
Are
first
are
off,
you reading this for the first
this
time, or do you know the information you're
uh,
about to tell us?
I know the
Okay.
information. So CBC blood counts are okay. No concerning findings. Test for chronic hepatitis C negative. You do not have hepatitis C. Thyroid function is normal. Electrolytes, kidney test, and liver enzymes look good, except for a very slight elevation for the AST at 58. I don't know what that means. The other liver enzymes, including ALT, alkaline phosphatase, and bilirubin, are normal. Please try to limit alcohol. Already done. Please try to follow a healthy diet and maintain a healthy body weight. Well, we will need to moderate this. Some mild elevation of the liver enzymes can be present due to things like fatty liver disease. The treatment for this is to limit alcohol on work to limit alcohol and work on achieving a healthy body weight. So, what is a healthy body weight? Less than I have on right now, but we've already talked about this as my new plan.
There are charts.
Hemoglobin. This indicates you have prediabetes. Please try to follow a healthy diet, low in sweetened beverages, and things containing high fructose corn syrup. Please try to get regular exercise. Please try to lose weight if overweight, obese. We will need to monitor this. So, yeah. I'm moving. I told Jennifer this. I'm moving, so I'm going to be getting a new doctor. Um, but
Maybe they'll tell me something I want to hear about my own body.
total cholesterol slightly elevated at 211. We prefer this to be less than 200. Triglycerides good at 98. HDL good at 51. LDL cholesterol, bad cholesterol, mildly elevated at 142. We prefer to be less than 100. The 10-year ASCVD risk score is 41%. Values used to calculate the score, and that's just me. And there's just a lot of information. ASCVD stands for risk of heart attack, stroke, need for coronary stent or bypass surgery, or sudden cardiac death. Given your 10-year risk of cardiovascular events remains less than, wait a second. Oh, not 41%, 4.1%.
Hey, there you go.
Woo! So since it's less than 7.5, we can hold off on cholesterol medication. Just follow a healthy diet, low in saturated fat, fried food, greasy food, red meat. Get regular exercise and work towards achieving a healthy body weight. We'll need to monitor this to make sure it improves over the next few years. If you want to keep a close eye on liver enzymes, let me know, and we can consider doing a repeat set of liver enzymes in about 3 months to see if it is improving with lifestyle changes. Let me know if you have any questions. So, but when I say I'm am moving to a new place. I'll be getting a new doctor. That is one thing. But the other piece that I would say is that not only am I going to be getting a new doctor, but I am also going to be walking a lot more.
Oh yeah.
Yeah, that's going to happen because, oh, wow. So she's written, oh, gosh. Okay. So you remember how I said I wasn't sure about so blood finding's okay, no concerning time. Okay. Oh, I see. I viewed all of them at once. I viewed all of them at once already. So I saw all these already, basically. Um so she commented on all of the things. And so yeah, I'm good, Ben. I'm good. I'm healthy.
Yeah.
Nothing to be worried about. Slightly high on some things, but not anything to be really scared of.
Nothing that's gonna make you do like a radical life change at the moment.
I mean, yeah, I should apparently do some things. Oh, let me tell you. Now that we've talked about this, let me tell you. The we were talking about Chicago.
Yeah.
So we went down to the downtown area once, and that was at the very end on Tuesday, where we went to the Water Tower Mall. If that makes sense. Have you heard of that?
Water Tower
It's called the Water Tower, and there's a mall in it.
I do not know
So
that.
it's called the Water Tower. It's a building downtown, and in that place, there are basically 7 floors, and each of us. When I say each of us, I mean me, Betty, and Jennifer, all got our own different things. We were like, we're on vacation. Let's spend a little bit of our money, have some,
Yeah. Buy souvenirs.
fun before we have to save, all of our money for house stuff. So Jennifer bought some clothes, and Jennifer doesn't buy clothes a lot. This is one of the things, we don't spend a lot of money on it. So,
yeah.
And they were nice. They were nice, and they weren't like super expensive, etc. Betty got some Legos, and I got food. I got
You bought lunch.
And, well, snacks, caramel and cheese popcorn.
Okay.
From Garrett's, which is boy, I hope I said that right, everybody. Famous place there. And then I went to this place whose name I forget, but they sort of like a bubble tea place, but a little bit upscale.
Okay.
And Ben,
upscale bubble tea.
One of the things that that they have, there's a thing. It's called a meal something. It translates to 1,000 layers in French.
Okay.
It's a pastry, and it's just like cream, and then a little pastry, and then cream and a little pastry. It's a cake about this big.
Yeah.
But just got tons of pastry and fillings in it. And I got the Oreo version of it.
Oh, God.
It was delicious. And then I got a thing called a mochi donut.
Yeah,
which was also
we got mochi.
really good.
There's a mochi donut joint down the street from my apartment.
What's it called? Do you know?
Oh. Oh, mochi donut.
Oh.
It's part of the Dolly Lounge. The Dolly Lounge. Is that it?
Okay.
Yeah.
I was just wondering. I thought maybe it would be a chain, and but no, this is different. But mochi donuts are really good.
Dolly Lounge. That's it.
Oh yeah, I remember that place a little bit. So yeah, mochi donut, and then I got a Thai iced tea, which, I've sworn off the caffeine, but just for if I run across a Thai iced tea, I gotta have one, Ben, because they're so good.
Yeah.
I love them so much. Speaking about that, is Ballet closed? Ballet is now closed. Is that right?
Ballet's been closed for
No more
years.
ballet?
Yeah, no.
Oh.
I think they may have even closed before you left town.
Do you remember the time that we were in ballet, and there was a guy at a table next to us who came up with the idea of a ball that had sex toys off of it, and it allowed everybody in a group.
For our new listeners, Ballet was a Vietnamese restaurant down the street from Annex, and we would pre-funk there before Spin the Bottle every month.
Yeah,
So every month there would be, sometimes it would just be me and Paul, sometimes there would be like 10 of us having
yep.
food at 8 o'clock before coming to do Spin the Bottle. I do not remember the guy who talked about the sex toy ball.
Yeah, he wasn't. This is the thing: is that it was a rival group. Like they were not in our group. They were not there for any annex stuff. They were just a group of other people,
Other customers.
other customers. But for some reason, they wanted to know if we wanted to hear their idea.
Because
And I was like,
we were probably having a
sure.
conversation that told them that we would be open to such a thing, you know, being weird theater artists and all.
And yeah. So anyway, I don't know if that, but that was the guy's dream. That was what something that he wanted to make. I wonder if he ever did.
You could ask Perplexity.
Yeah. This is the this is the thing is that sometimes I ask Perplexity questions and it gets the wrong idea about me. So I don't want to attempt it. So like Jennifer once said that there are large statues of gods in India, and that sometimes people would get run over by them, but it wasn't thought of as a big deal.
Run
And I
over by
wrote
large statues.
by the chariots that were carrying these large statues.
Okay.
The wheels of they'd be crushed under the wheels of these giant statues. And so I asked Perplexity, "Is this a real thing that happened?" And it said, "I am not allowed to talk about ways that people might end their lives. If you're feeling suicide," and I was like, "Okay,
That's
obviously
that's a pretty heavy guardrail there.
yeah, we've gotten the wrong idea. You and I, Perplexity, have
We're failing to communicate.
yes, there's something that you've missed somewhere in our conversation." So, anyways, the idea being, I'm supposed to cut down on sugars. I just want to show you the snacks I have. So I have the peanut butter Captain Crunch, which is not good. Love corn, which I believe has no sugar. Let's see if I'm right. Yeah, 0 grams of sugar. Uh, Sizzling bacon sunflower seeds. These are really good, by the way. They're from Biggs. Um, so I think we're good there. More love corn, this time the cheesy flavor.
I like cheesy
Still
flavors.
pretty good. Lucky Charms, just the marshmallows.
Oops, all marshmallows.
That to me says, yeah, probably. Well, oops would suggest that there was a mistake made. This is purely intentional.
I bought my nephew for Christmas one year a bag, like a 5-pound bag of Lucky Charms marshmallows. And my
Can you see this?
my sister said he ate them all before they went stale. I can see it, but I cannot read what it says.
Okay, so it basically has what the marshmallows are, and then the magic powers you get by consuming them.
So what do
Like one,
do the magic powers combine if you, in a weird way, if you eat multiple marshmallows at once?
I assume so, Ben. I'm going to now read these powers. Heart gives the power to bring things to life. Shooting star gives the power of flight. Horseshoe gives the power to speed up time. Clover gives the power of good luck. Blue moon gives the power of invisibility. Unicorn gives the power to add color to the world. Rainbow gives the power to teleport. And red balloon gives the power to make things float. Now, I've tried these, Ben. So far, no dice. But You never can tell.
Maybe you're not. Maybe
So Rainbow.
you just don't believe enough.
Yeah, that probably is it. I've seen that kind of stuff happen before. Oh, and then finally, the best freeze-dried candy I've ever had in my entire life, the watermelon kind. So Ben, I heard you mutter under your breath. Do we have to stop the podcast?
No.
Is there anything?
No,
Okay.
we're good. I was just, but once we're done, I need to go back and work on something that I thought I was
okay.
done with.
I hate that.
Yeah.
It's like, oh, just one more thing.
Yeah.
What are you, Columbo?
Just one more thing, ma'am. Where were you
Oh, no.
on the night?
It's Columbo, but it's Ringo, and it's just Ringo Starr doing the exact same thing.
Okay.
You sounded for just a second a little Liverpudlian to me.
Peace and love, peace and love. Just one more thing, mate. Before I go.
I think it would be awesome. I would just like how. Oh wait, did he take over for George Carlin, or did George Carlin take over for him?
George Carlin took over for Ringo.
Okay, never mind.
Shining Time Station.
Yeah. Which is funny and weird.
Told us the tank engine. Yeah, I never really got that. I mean, I never watched that show. Even though I was like a huge Beatles fan, I'm like, oh, Ringo's in a kids show. I never watched it. But yeah, that was an interesting, like, George Carlin being the host of a kids show was a strange move.
Yeah. I could see how one might do it, though. You know, Robert Rodriguez started doing kids movies because he had a kid.
Yeah.
Or more than one. But you know what I mean.
If you have more than one, that's way too many, and you know, you gotta let them digest first.
I'm nodding. You guys can't hear it. You can see it on the video. So yeah, these aren't stale yet. They have like a little snap to them. That's the good thing about these marshmallows, Ben, is that if they get stale, they just become soft.
Well, then you just put them in your cereal instead of eating them plain.
Or you just eat them plain because they're soft. That's fine. You don't have to make a big deal about it. It's not a big deal. I say.
Maybe I don't like soft marshmallows, sir.
Yeah. Did I fight in a war so I could come home and eat soft marshmallows? No.
It's funny too because the lore is that the Lucky Charms marshmallows came from circus peanuts, and I cannot stand circus peanuts, but I love marshmallows. So I don't think it's a texture thing. Then I think it's a flavor thing.
Well, you know what they're supposedly flavored as?
Supposedly?
Mm-hmm. Supposedly. Sorry. Banana.
Circus peanuts are banana flavored?
That's what they're supposed to be. The most popular kind.
Does not make any sense. What was the... There's also, like, the banana flavor we have in banana candies comes from a strain of banana that no longer exists.
Mm-hmm. Which is crazy.
Yeah. And even, like, I remember hearing something where the bananas that we have now are on the verge of collapse because it's a monoculture, right? So, like, once the plant gets a disease or something like that, there's no way for it to recover. It can't, like, diversify its defenses. I'm probably wickedly butchering the reason why, but yeah, we might not have bananas in 50 years.
Which is crazy, but, you know, they're pretty good, I would say.
Good sources of potassium.
Yeah, cheap. Still,
right now.
You know, not saying that it's going to be cheap forever, but for right now, I bought six bananas, and it was $1.25.
Yeah, yeah. Sometimes I'll just buy one banana. It's like 13 cents. It's pretty amazing.
This is the one thing that people find it hard to believe, but is absolutely true. I could, if I needed to, survive on much less money as I. Okay, this is going to sound dumb now that I think about it, but okay. What I was going to say is, I can survive on much less money than it takes to
feed a family of three.
Feed a family of three. That's exactly what I was going to say. What I mean by that, though, is if there were three of me,
yeah,
it would still cost less. And it's not because, this is the thing, it's not because they buy, less food than me, if this makes sense. I mean, it's not that I buy less food than Betty and Jennifer. It's that I get into a mindset of, well, as long as we're getting this, I might as well get this, etc. Whereas when I buy myself, and I've done this before, you've been around me when I've done this, I'm like, oh, I can just buy a loaf of bread, a carton of eggs, and a bunch of bananas, and I'll be set.
Yeah.
Like, my refrigerator at, Highland Park, or when I was at the Marwood or whatever, just as sparse as all my furniture and everything.
I should show you a picture of what my fridge looks like now. It's
same.
There's basically nothing in there. Like, I have a pitcher of water, a lemon cut in half, like half of a lemon in a Ziploc bag, because I made fish one night, like a week ago, and I put lemon slices on it, and like a jar of juice, and mustard and sour cream, and that's essentially it.
We are cops from the 1980s.
Exactly.
Protagonist cops from the 1980s.
There's Jim Belushi was in a movie called K-9. No, this is Jim Belushi's star turn in the movie The Principal. And I can't remember exactly what beer it was, but it showed him like going home and like pouring
beer
into like a chocolate diet shake, and that's his dinner, like Ensure or whatever the fad of the.
I think I saw that. It's really interesting. I'm wondering now if I remember correctly. Jim Belushi is either surprisingly nice or very difficult to work with, and it's crazy that I don't know which it is.
In real life?
Yeah, I forget which story I heard.
I'd want to believe that he's incredibly nice, because he owns a marijuana farm these days. So he's Farmer Jim, and like I follow him on Twitter, and all he does is post about how great weed is.
He was in Wild Palms, the TV show, which is a really good, I still can't believe it. It's what's his name? He did Platoon and JFK and Natural Born Killers and producer Oliver Stone. Oliver Stone did Wild Palms, the TV show.
Okay.
And I thought that it was good. I thought that it and Twin Peaks kind of existed on a similar level. And Jim Belushi was the main character in Wild Palms. And at the time, I was like, I like all of this except for Jim Belushi. And I think it's because Jim Belushi had a problem of not being John Belushi. And like a lot of people were mad at him.
I can see
the fact that he wasn't his brother.
I can see that. He also he followed in his brother's footsteps. I think he was a cast member of SNL briefly. But when it comes to like lesser brothers, or like not lesser brothers of more famous people who are also like in the same industry, Jim Belushi strikes me as somebody who would be like good to work with. I think it's Randy Quaid is the brother who I think is more difficult to work with.
I hear that Randy Quaid is difficult.
Yeah, I think difficult to the point of he had to flee the country at some point.
Yeah, Jim Belushi was in Twin Peaks: The Return.
Oh yeah,
and did a good job. Yeah. Tom Sizemore also in Twin Peaks: The Return.
Sizemore.
Yeah. So yeah, it's a real interesting. He plays Tom Sizemore plays a bad guy, and he does a really kind of a Weasley guy. Also, does a really good job.
Jim Belushi, I think, not to hammer this point home, we can move on from the Belushi train soon enough. But I think one of the reasons why he's not people, I don't think people are mad at him that he's not his brother, even though he really kind of looks like him. But he had a sitcom that was sort of like a running joke about how bad sitcoms stay on the air and good TV shows get canceled soon.
It was according to Jim, right?
Yeah, and it was another in the a tropey sitcom where you have fat guy, hot wife kind of thing.
Yeah, in fact, it was the atypical fat guy, hot wife.
Yeah.
Not the atypical. The what do you call it?
The prototypical.
Poster child. The prototypical. Yeah.
The show.
That was yes. But anyway, so what we're saying is we like Jim Belushi, unless he's mean, in which case we don't.
Exactly.
Jim Belushi was mean to you, dear listener, I'm sorry.
Write us at Ben's email at yahoo.com at gmail.com and tell us how Jim Belushi hurt you.
Yes. Hey, by the way, any emails?
Nope. You should see the email. The only email in our email is YouTube saying, now live on your channel, GudeLaurance Podcast.
Nice.
It's amazing. Yep, there it is.
Hey, we did it. So yeah, I wonder how the podcast will change when I move to Chicago. Will our production values raise up because I'm now in a city rather than in a small town in the Midwest?
Well, if you increase your production values, then I'm gonna have to try to match you.
Yeah, I don't think it's going to. I really don't. It'd be weird if I started bringing guests on.
We're gonna have a guest soon. Yes, you can come in. We're almost done anyway.
Who is it?
Catherine.
Who is it?
Catherine is here showing Yolanda how to work the board. So there's going to be people behind me while in our waiting few minutes here.
We should warn them and let them know that it's happening.
Catherine knows that I'm podcasting with Paul. I don't know if Yolanda knows. So can you hear other? You can
Catherine,
probably hear other voices.
Are you going to put them in the credits? Probably.
I'll show them to you because we'll go that way. Because they'll be over there. Hey, there's my microphone.
Okay.
Microphone.
Hey, look at that! Wow, that's a nice microphone.
Yeah,
Ben.
It's a little shotgun mic I got hanging up there. Hey, look, there you are.
You may find yourself
living
a shotgun mic.
Yeah.
Shotgun Mike would be a good name for a character.
Sounds like a dancer.
Lock, Stock, and Two Smoking Barrels movie. Shotgun Mike. Played by Mike Dowdy. What?
Hey.
No. Oh, speaking about which, when is that concert happening?
Well,
did it already happen?
I think this tour starts soon. They're coming here on September 18th, which is a Wednesday.
Oh, okay.
I just saw a notice that they opened up more tickets for the Chicago show.
Really?
Yeah.
Let me see if I remember some of this stuff.
And I wanted to call you up and be like, hey, let's go to Chicago and see the show.
Sir Sean's coming.
Yeah, I mean, I wouldn't mind it.
But they
can't wait for me to get my bus pass and stuff. I'm gonna feel much more mobile then. I haven't done it in a while. I did walk more than I had in a really long time, though.
Yeah.
You kind of have to. There's a place in Chicago called Jewel Esco, which is like their version of a QFC or a Schnucks. They had everything that I would have wanted, except no fancy freezer dog or refrigerator dog food for Edward, because Edward now eats fancy refrigerator dog food.
Vet's orders.
Just it makes the most sense because he doesn't have any teeth anymore.
Oh.
Well, he has much fewer teeth.
Yeah. I think I remember you telling me that.
Yeah. And he loves it. I mean, I have to, because he likes it too much.
My sister had a cat at one point that had digestive issues, and she had to feed it canned pumpkin. Like pureed canned pumpkin in the morning to help with its, because it was like the cat was always like constipated, so it helped with its inner workings, and the cat loved it. The cat like cried for it every morning, and when my sister went back to the vet to get an update, the vet's like, well, are you getting Charlie to eat the canned mushroom? And Jess told him that he loved it, and the vet seemed surprised by that. I guess cats don't like canned pumpkin, but like, I just assumed that the cat thought, oh, it's human food. I like human food and not cat food.
My sister would, famously irresponsible in many ways, would just squirt whipped cream directly into the cat's mouths that she had. I also, as you know, I listen to Demi Laudner and Tom Walker's BigSoftTitty.png.
Yeah.
Recently, their cat had some blood, and heard the word blood when eating it, and now whenever the cat hears the word blood, goes and like gets real excited. Which, if you think about it, a cat probably would. Oh, also, I learned about lions.
What about lions?
That lots of times they don't actually kill the prey that they're eating, that you see them eating. They show up and scare everything else off, and then eat it.
King of the jungle.
Yeah, exactly.
Well, I mean,
boy, doesn't that sound like something?
It's the male lions that show up to eat the kill that the female lions have hunted.
Now, I will say, of course, we are. Well, I guess we have 3 minutes. We should probably mention it. It's Thursday, the 22nd. Is that right? Of August?
Yeah.
So the Democratic National Convention coming to a close pretty soon.
Have you watched any of it?
Looks like I watched one main thing, which was Lil Jon doing "Turn Down for What."
I was watching
George's thing.
I was watching Seth Meyers' show, and he kept calling him Little John.
Oh, wow!
I'm like, it's not Little John.
Man, they should do a Robin Hood thing and have him in it. They don't have a lot more time probably to do it, so
yeah.
But the thing is, so I looked up Illinois and what they played, and what they played was
Home State,
Alan Parsons Project. I can't think of the. Oh no, I'm blanking on the name, Ben.
On the name of the song.
Yeah, Alan Parsons Project.
Did it have the word Illinois in the name?
No, it didn't. It didn't. But it's going to be my Ben Gonna Guess the News.
I don't know any.
Don't look it up. Don't look it up.
All right. Well, it's good because I don't know any of their songs.
Oh, it's Sirius. That's right. Sirius, like the satellite radio. Sirius, right? So, Ben.
Yes.
Alan Parsons Project. Sirius. Why would Illinois play Alan Parsons Project Sirius? at the Democratic National Convention in Chicago,
Like show.
why would they play that as their intro?
The next thing would be the 27th. Will be your thing.
Okay.
Does it have something to do with how non-serious the Republicans are?
We should.
Again, Sirius, not spelled like Sirius.
Oh, like the god.
Like the satellite radio station, or yeah. SIRI.
No earthly
Serious.
no idea.
So I
Okay.
think now-
So I'm going to do a thing, and you may have to bleep this. I don't know. It may make it so that we can't use this audio if it's uploaded. Would we get maybe not able to do? I'm only going to play a little bit of it.
I think you can play like 3 seconds.
There we go. Okay, great. So now you should have.
Okay.
Play stuff you shouldn't do.
This isn't it. Okay, here we go.
Commercials and stuff. Okay, which is nice. Okay. Is that to do the sound and stuff? Okay.
I'm not hearing anything.
So.
You're not hearing anything?
No.
So where it says A, yes. There's a little switch on A.
I think
Where it says power on. Okay.
I think Zoom is doing that thing where it cuts out music.
Okay.
Sorry, I need to write it all.
It goes. Dun, dun, dun. Oh, I can't even do it. Look it up.
Okay.
Look it up after the podcast, because it's not going to be. It's not as fun if you, because you're going to know it, I think, but I didn't know it. It is the music that they would play before the Chicago Bulls came out, when Michael Jordan was part of the Chicago Bulls.
I don't know. I would not have known that, but I do know that they are at the United
Okay.
Center, which is where the Bulls play.
So it was their theme music. That was what they ended up playing. So, kind of a letdown, Ben. Sorry that I wasn't able to play that for you.
That's all right.
But until next time, I'm gonna ask you to please keep it more wrong than I kept it today.
Keep it wrong. I'll talk to you next week.
Okay.
All right, Ben. How's it happening?